We're going to create a delete action in our items controller. I've already created the function in my items controller. Our delete action will not have a template, so I have not made any new templates here in my items folder. I have altered my index template to have a new delete link. You'll notice this link differs than the edit link. My edit link is a straightforward link to an action, where my delete link is actually a form post. With this post link method, we can also pass in a confirmation which prompts the user to make sure that they actually would like to delete the item that they've selected. We'll go over more of this in our view module. Let's go back to our items controller. Since our delete action does not need a view template, we're going to go ahead and automatically redirect it back to the index action, which is also the list of items in our database. So redirect and then type in index. Let's go to the website and test out the link. Now I've added the new link over here under the actions column, so you'll see the new delete. When I click on this, it prompts me and says, are you sure you want to delete the item? And then it actually names the item that we're going to delete. We're going to go ahead and say OK, and you'll notice that it refreshes right back to our page. If we didn't have that redirect, we would see an error indicating that we needed to provide a template for our delete action. Let's continue modifying our delete action in the items controller to allow for us to actually delete an item. First, we need to know what item we'll be passing in. So we're going to set ID as our parameter and default that value to null. Now we want to test to make sure that ID is passing in a value. We have the same functionality in our edit, so we're going to go ahead and just copy this if statement here. And basically this is saying if the ID is not set, go ahead and throw a not found exception. We also want to make sure that the item exists in the database. If it doesn't, we also want to throw a not found exception. So we can actually combine these two and say if the item does not exist, and we would pass in the ID. So now we're saying if the item is null or if the item does not exist, go ahead and throw this not found exception. Let's go ahead and test that out. So I'm just going to type in delete, and we get our error, ID was not set. Now let's test if we put in a number that's not valid. So we have 32, and it's also coming up with an ID not set. Our error handling is working correctly. Let's continue on with our controller edits. Now if we get this far in our code, we know that the item exists. But we also want to make sure that it comes via a post method. So we're going to go ahead and do another if. And we're going to check the request and make sure that it is post. Now in here we can actually call our delete function. Now in our delete method, we pass in that ID variable. So now we can go ahead back to our website and test out our delete link. We have a fake movie here that we can go ahead and delete. The website prompts me asking if I want to delete this item, and I would like to go ahead and do that. So we're going to say OK. It has redirected us back to our list of items, and you'll notice that the movie is no longer in our list. Our delete method worked. Let's go ahead and modify a few more things in our delete action. We're going to wrap this delete method in an if statement. So if the delete was a success, we want to send back a message using our setFlash method. So this, and we're using a component, which is the session component, and we want to set the flash method, and we'll just say that the item was deleted. And if the item was not deleted, let's set a message indicating that it wasn't deleted. Our setFlash method, we'll just say the item was not deleted. Now if we remember back from the slides, we also said there was a way to call this exist method without passing the ID parameter. The same with the delete method. Let's go ahead and modify these two methods to be called without the ID parameter being passed. In order to do that, we would need to set the ID in the model. So this item, the ID, and we would set it to ID. Now that we have the model ID being set, we can go in here and delete these IDs from being passed in. Now our delete action looks complete. Let's go ahead and run through a deletion one more time. I have this testing the redirect that we can definitely delete from our items list. I'm going to go ahead and select delete. Again, it prompts me if I really want to delete the item. I'm going to click OK. Now it says the item was deleted, and you'll notice our items list is back to the original 6 that I had. Let's go ahead and recap what we did to our delete action. First, we set the model ID to the actual ID that we're passing in. This allows us to call the exists method without passing in a parameter of ID. Then we came down here after we checked to make sure it was a post from a form. We then deleted the item using the delete method. Since we set up the model ID already, we were able to call the delete method without a parameter. We then redirected the user back to the index action.